Welcome to the latest episode of this week's Acca. It's a bonus special focusing on Thursday's action in the Europa Conference League and the Europa League. We'll keep it super short and we'll build you just about a both teams to score Acca. Some interesting action for the British teams, Liverpool and Brighton. We think those games could be pretty wild. And remember, please like and follow us on social media, YouTube and your chosen podcast provider. This is for 18s and over. Please always gamble responsibly. Right, full disclosure for everybody watching, if you're listening, it won't be any different. I may have put a hoodie on, but we are recording this on Monday, so a few T's and C's, prices might change a bit. And in racing, Ben Linfoot, if you've not listened to Monday's episode, we're joined again by Ben Scoop Linfoot, our Sporting Life racing expert, to take us through what day? I've lost the track of bloody days now. Thursdays, that's it.
All we need to know is
Christ.
the tip that you gave us on Monday, we at very least we got our money back.
Oh yeah, and they all won as well.
Lose.
Yeah. Can we say that? Can we just say, oh yeah, you heard him earlier this week, and obviously all those tips won, so we're on, got him back on now.
That's not just in case.
Thursday Cheltenham, that's what we're going to be chatting about now, Scoop, and that was a really, really clean intro from me to you, wasn't it?
It was superb. It's not like working with Dave Hart. They're all over the shop. But Thursday is a really good day at Cheltenham. You've got the Stayers Hurdle and the Ryanair Chase, so sort of two feature races packaged up into one day. And it's the day, I think, that bookmakers might fight back a bit, because the first 2 days are full of short price favourites. The Thursday looks a little bit more wide open, particularly the two open Grade 1 contests. They're not cut and dry by any means. There's several horses who can win these races, so yeah, we might see the bookies fight back.
We were just chatting before, you saying that it seems like it's going to be a festival dominated by one trainer. So if people who don't really know much about racing, they start hearing about that, why is that happening, and what effect will that have on the betting if you wanted to have a bit of a punt?
Well, it's happening for several reasons. It's not an overnight success story by any means. Willie Mullins started training in the mid-90s, and it took him a hell of a long time to get where he is today. In 2016, his principal owner, Jigginstown Stud, took all of their horses out of the yard in a dispute over trainer fees, and that was 60 horses. Now, most other trainers might have not crumbled, but at least reined it in a little bit, but he's just gone from strength to strength since then, and the dominance now is unprecedented, and he has got odds-on favourite after odds-on favourite all week long, and he's 1-12 to be top trainer at Cheltenham, which tells you everything. He really could win everything this week. He's had 94 Cheltenham Festival winners, which is a record. He will get the 100 this week. I mean, no doubt about that whatsoever. He could get it by Wednesday afternoon. So yeah, it's the likes of what we've not seen before. He's got the best horses in his barn, and they are going to win race after race.
Is it good for racing to have like I think I promised you we weren't going to do like the football comparisons, that Willie Mullins is like Man City.
He's like,
no, if there's a team winning the league every year, say in like Germany, Bayern Munich winning every year, it can be boring for football fans. Is it similar for racing fans to have, it's a Willie Mullins horse has won again, same trainers horse?
Yeah, it is a little bit like that, and there has been a little bit of a backlash to Cheltenham this year, partly because of Willie Mullins' dominance. Now, it's not his fault. He has built this business, and he dominates the sales rings and getting the horses from France, and it's really where he sources his horses from, why he's so dominant. He's obviously a brilliant trainer as well. He gets them there fit and healthy and so prepared to do the damage at Cheltenham. It's hard to argue with it, but of course racing fans don't want to see odds-on favourite after odds-on favourite winning. Part of the appeal of racing is getting that nice price winner, and when Willie Mullins is involved, it's very difficult to do that. So you've got to pick and choose your battles, which ones you take on, which ones you're with, and that's part of the game plan now.
There our eyes all lit up at nice price winner there, didn't it? So
it sure did, buddy.
This is what we want now. Thursday, nice price winners. What we got?
Well, I'm going to go with the Willie Mullins horse.
Of course he is.
But
Picks the favourite again.
Dear. It's not favourite. It's in the Paddy Power Stayers Hurdle, and he's a 10-1 shot, driven by Willie Mullins, which immediately raises the eyebrows, especially when I tell you he's a 2-time Cheltenham Festival winner.
Shit. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This is ticking a lot of boxes, isn't it?
It's ticking a lot of boxes. He's called Sir Gerhard, runs in the red, white and blue Cheveley Park colours, And he has had his issues, which is why he's 10-1, but he's had his issues over a fence, and he's returned to hurdling this season. He's a much, much happier horse. He won on New Year's Eve in the gloom at Punchestown, like a horse that was enjoying life again. He won over 2 mile 3 furlongs in heavy ground against a bunch of good quality stayers, and I think being back over hurdles, stepping up in trip to 3 miles is really going to suit him. And the key thing is get on early, because this is a horse who's always backed at Cheltenham. Even last year when he was in the doldrums a bit, he got backed into 3-1, and he didn't run very well, but it was over fences. He doesn't like fences. So he's 10-1. I can see him getting backed, and I can see him running really well in the stayers.
If what you're saying is true about Willie Mullins dominating, then that alone should see the price collapse if he does.
Well, he's got a few
right?
potential options in that race.
You like this one most?
I like that one best, yep.
All right.
What else for us, mate?
So, Thursday, Ryanair Chase. One of my bets of the week is Stage Star for Paul Nicholls, England's champion trainer.
And do you like the Jurgen Klopp to Pep?
Oh,
Willie Mullins, Pep Guardiola.
With football analogies, we could go with that. Yeah.
He's got the biggest chance of
hating this.
Mullins.
He's a very passionate trainer, Paul Nicholls.
Oh, is that right? Yeah,
He's celebrating like Klopp does down the touchline. So.
Love it. Yeah.
Yeah. You might see a bit of that if he wins. And Stage Star, he's your typical new course specialist at Cheltenham. Now, the new course is more of a stamina test than the old course, and Stage Star has won over it a couple of times. He's won the time form, Novices Handicap Chase at Cheltenham on that course, and the Turners last year, and he's back on the same course for the Ryanair, and he jumps for fun. He stays well at this trip, and he's going to give you a really good run for your money. He's about 9-2.
Sounds like he does not lose.
He'd be one of my more confident selections of the week. He didn't run very well on New Year's Day. He got pulled up in heavy ground off a big weight in a handicap at Cheltenham, and because of that, I think we're getting a slightly inflated price. I think on his form, really, he should be an 11-4 shot, but I think we're getting 9-2 because of that New Year's Day run. Just strike a line through it. He wasn't right that day. He'll be right this week.
That's what we do with losing.
I like the cut of your jib, Scoop.
Cheers, Jimmy.
If it goes wrong, fuck it off, disregard it.
Doesn't suit
That's
my
what we do.
Well, listen, it's Cheltenham. Anything can happen. So you've just got to be confident beforehand.
Yeah.
And on that beautiful note, then you can get all of Scoop's brilliant insight and the rest of our racing team on sportinglife.com throughout the week. There'll be plenty of podcasts, best bets, and remember, we'll have another Sporting Life this week's Acca podcast for the weekend, and we'll be throwing loads of pods, loads of best bets at you, so just make sure you keep an eye on your channels on YouTube, and of course visiting sportinglife.com. Right, lads, time to get stuck into the football now, and we're going to try and keep this as short as we can, everybody, because we know we're chucking an absolute shit ton of podcasts at you this week, and everybody's lives are busy, aren't they?
Very, yeah.
And we were debating ourselves whether we were going to go with just your normal win Acca or whether we wanted both teams to score, and I believe we settled on both teams to score, Jake.
We have, yeah. It's when it comes to this stage of European competition, especially second legs, it's very difficult to kind of put your hat on teams winning, especially given you've got state of the tie to think about, and obviously there's some real mismatches, which means extremely short prices. So, yeah, the amount of goals that we saw last week across the two lower tiered European competitions, I think we just follow that and just keep going with goals. I mean, the Europa League had 31 goals in 8 matches, which is pretty emphatic. And the Conference League, I think it was about 25 in 8, and that included 2 0-0s, which kind of shows you the high scoring nature of these competitions. So I think that we could profit from that.
Yeah, for we don't want 0-0s though this week, do we?
We definitely don't want 0-0. We don't want 1-0s.
0-0s.
No.
It'd be perfect if both teams score in all of the games that we're picking.
Yeah,
really, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, in an ideal world, that's what would happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
I think your favourite joke is, stating the obvious, but then just trying to deliver it with a little witty smile.
You're giving away the secret sauce there.
Cheeky chappy, isn't he?
Cheeky monkey.
But yeah, I think we kick it off in the Europa League. Atalanta Sporting Lisbon. Yeah, we are going for a BTTS coupon, so I don't need to say what the bet is. It's 1-1 it was.
What are we betting on?
No, do it with a cheeky smile.
You missed the smile. 1-1 in the first leg. I think these are two very evenly matched teams. Sporting are absolutely flying in Portugal. They're top of the league. playing really well. Atalanta, they had a wobble, couple of seasons wobble. They look to be getting back to their best, especially their scoring best. I mean, they're scoring a hatful of goals. And I could see this getting very open and very chaotic with two teams that both have attack-first mindsets. So that's the first one I throw in, BTTS in that game.
Atalanta have just got a reputation for the last 5 years of being wild, right?
Under Gasperini, it's mental.
And then Sporting's manager, Ruben Amorim, is being one of the names touted for the Liverpool job because he plays such aggressive football. Surely this is going to be like the most entertaining game there is on Thursday.
It could well be, yeah. And you look at recent results for Sporting, I mean, they've not even played very good teams in the shipping loads of goals. 1-1 they drew with Young Boys in the previous round, second leg. 3-3 at Rio Ave, which is...
oh, he's terrible.
He's terrible. I didn't even need to look at what he was doing.
I would just look, my eyes were fixed straight on him to see whether... So for those of you listening, as soon as Jake said Young Boys, which is a football club based in Bern in Switzerland, then I thought, how long is this going to take before Jimmy gets the giggles? And it did not take very long.
Just for interest, does Jimmy know where the Young Boys play their football?
I just said where they played.
No, the stadium.
Oh God,
what's it called?
Go on.
Yeah, it's called Stadion Wankdorf.
Yeah. It's too much for you.
Yeah, Jimmy. But going back to the serious point, Sporting Lisbon conceded 3 against Rio Ave. They beat Benfica 2-1 in the Taça Portugal. Conceded twice against Firenze in the Portuguese league. So we're talking lower tier Portugal, or lower the top tier. I think that just means that Atlanta could score 2-3, but at the same time, Atlanta just can't defend, and they haven't been able to under Gasperini. So I think this is a lot both teams to score.
I love it. But quickly, what's the context of that game? How did the first leg finish up?
1-1. So it's all to play for.
Oh yeah.
Not only have you got the state of the tie, but you've also got a BTTS that won the previous game, which kind of highlights that both are more than capable of creating against each other.
Can we go then? So the first selection for this week's Acca Thursday special, both teams to score at 4-7, Atalanta against Sporting. Did we see Brighton losing 4-0 at Roma?
Did I? Did you?
Yeah.
I did preview for the game. I absolutely did not.
No, but it is worth noting that Roma are a completely different beast. I mean, hands on the table, or cards on the table, I tipped Roma to win the Europa League when it was Mourinho in charge, with the fact being that it's Mourinho, he knows how to get the job done in these... They look way better under Daniele De Rossi.
Oh, unbelievable.
Way better. Scoring goals, creating chances. But yeah, 4-0, never saw that coming.
But will both teams score in this game? I say yes, they will, which is why I'm suggesting them as my biggest pick for Thursday. I'll tell you for why. Roberto De Zerbi, he got like a little bit dull in the Europa League, keeping clean sheets, but that all went out the window in that first leg, losing 4-0, and there is no way that mad bastard does anything other than think we could try win this game 5-0, you know? So they throw everybody forward, try and score. They go 2-0 down, they keep throwing everybody forward, they'll score. They get 3-0 up, they throw everybody forward, try and get to 4-0, 5-0. Roma score a goal on the break. And I thought this would be prohibitively priced for both teams to score, and it's really not. It's just pretty general, nice price, 8-13 with Sky Bet. I'd be slamming it straight in the coupon because I really struggle to see how this game plays out where both teams don't score in it, to be honest.
Yeah, I'm with you. And people might be looking and thinking Brighton, both teams failed to land in their last 4 games and 5 of their last 5 games on the continent, but you can disregard all that shit. The context of this game is crucial.
You're thinking,
there's no way. Yeah, just fuck them off. There's no way Brighton don't go for this. And we saw what Roma are capable in the home leg in terms of taking chances, because that wasn't a 4-0 game, by the way, was it? But they can score goals.
It was a 3-1-ish kind of game.
Yeah. It wasn't a 4-0 game. If anybody watched that game,
Brighton have been diddled.
Lewis Dunk, what is he doing? They get to half-time 1-0, and he's not trying to, for some reason, juggle the ball on the half-turn, running towards his own goal with about a minute of stoppage time left at the end of the first half. They get in 1-0. That's probably a great contest in the second half. But inexperience, they end up just doing something a bit daft. It really was not a 4-0 game, and then they just conceded 2 against the run of play second half, 2-0 down.
Yeah, I like it. And then on the Roma side of things, I know I said about De Rossi's, they've just gone from Mourinho's defensive first approach to the complete opposite. Like, they are basically trying, like what De Zerbi wants Brighton to be. They're playing pure front foot football. They're entertaining to watch. Both teams' scores landed in 8 of De Rossi's 11 games in charge, which again shows you that they are leaving themselves vulnerable, but they are scoring hatfuls at the moment. So yeah, I like this as well. BTTS, get it in.
Okay, so I know we said we're going to rush through this. I'm going to try and squeeze in, before we go to our next section, another English team, because Liverpool are playing Sparta Prague, and I was in between which one of these I actually wanted to suggest myself. But at the moment, that's our 2 locks, is that we've got Brighton against Roma, both teams to score in that one, and Atalanta against Sporting, both teams to score in that game. Jimmy, I know you, similar to me, really like the look of the Liverpool-Sparta game.
Yeah, both teams to score in that. It's probably one of the beefiest prices that we're going to go for. Landed in all bar one of Liverpool's last 10 games at Anfield. The only exception was Southampton. I think they hit the woodwork early on in that game before Liverpool eventually got a stranglehold. And we was all absolutely, I would say shocked, but we were more than shocked. We were flabbergasted, weren't we?
We were, yeah.
The strength of the side Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp put out in Prague in the away leg. It was an unbelievably strong squad. Fair mentality. He just wanted to get the job done.
Yeah.
And got the job done. He has. So it's one of them. Liverpool probably going to... One of them, innit?
Yeah, it's one of them.
It's one of them, innit? Liverpool probably going to rest and rotate here. Sparta Prague come here with nothing to lose. Most teams have shown that they are capable of bloodying the nose of the hosts at Anfield. Sparta will feel no different. It landed in the first leg. Great price to do so again in the second leg.
Yeah, I'm definitely on board. I think, obviously, we can't jump into Klopp's mind again and predict he's going to play a weaker team, but they play Man United in the FA Cup on the weekend, so you have to expect him to
he's got
rotate off the back of a big game against Man City. So that obviously opens the door for Sparta, maybe trying to claim a famous victory at Anfield, even if they do go out. But Liverpool have the quality, and even in their youth academy, it seems, to be able to go and score. So yeah, I like this as well at the price.
Just to round this off, to give you a little insight into what it's actually like working at Sporting Life. We're in the office on Thursday, and the team news drops for this game, and it is like pandemonium. And we do all gamble responsibly, and I mean that important. We all keep a check on one another, make sure that we don't do anything silly. But we sat round for probably, what do you reckon it was, 10, 15 minutes, debating like what we're going to do about this, because it's totally changed the game, and settled on betting on Darwin Núñez to score, because when something like that happens and the bookmakers had priced the game expecting Liverpool to play a second string, it just throws everything out of whack, and they can't quite catch up with every market. So they smashed in the 1x2, didn't they? But they left the goal scorers pretty much the same as what they had before. So it was a beautiful moment. Yeah. I told Jimmy the next day, I nipped into the supermarket on the way home, got in, and they were reacting on TalkSport to the second Liverpool goal going in. I was like, I want to know who scored it. Who scored it? And it was Darwin Núñez from a goalkeeping error. Yeah. You're like, sweet, sweet relief.
Sweet.
Anyway, nice little side note for you there. That's 3 selections we've got here for our Thursday special for this week's Acca. So I'll round it off. So it's Atalanta, both teams to score against Sporting, both teams to score at Liverpool against Sparta Prague, and the same bet in Brighton against Roma. And at the moment, that is a treble at just shy of 3.5 to 1. Right, one more and out of here. We did say we're going to make this a short and sweet episode, didn't we?
It wasn't going to be one more. We've been diddled well and truly by Oddschecker, haven't we?
We have.
The original plan, we had a tasty little 5-fold, but Oddschecker, we can only do 8 o'clocks. We can only do it because we can't have an Acca getting let down on the one selection in the early kickoff. It's not how Accas work, is it? Everyone knows that. And we've been diddled by Oddschecker because we thought Slavia Prague's game with AC Milan was a late kickoff. We thought Fiorentina's game was a late kickoff. But it turns out they're kicking off at 6:15.
Oddschecker, sort your son out.
Yeah.
Honestly. Oh, there's an opening there for odds comparison website that can actually get kickoff times right.
Not hard, is it? Let's be honest.
So we've actually been left with one game for our initial long list. Thank God, which means that we can actually keep it short. So it pretty much has to go in. So really, we don't want to give you made up selections to force anything. So we know this ain't going to be the biggest price Acca that we've ever built, but these are 4 selections that we really like.
That we do like.
And then if you want to boost it up yourself bigger, then great. And obviously, we hope that we'll get a fairly nice little boost from Sky Bet. So over to you, Jake, because let's be very honest, me and Jimmy know nothing about Club Bruges versus Molde, but you made a pretty good argument to us off camera.
Yeah, well, Molde, they're a really interesting team at the moment because they're currently in are they mid-season break, or is their league season's finished?
So told you we don't know anything about it. Why are you asking?
They are the only games they've played over the last month have been European games. They played Legia twice. They played a friendly. That kind of tells you all you need to know. And then they played Club Bruges in the first leg. But they've been very, very good in Europe this season. And they take a 2-1 lead to Belgium. And I think that there's every chance that this game could get a little bit mental because Club Bruges are a team that score plenty of goals. They're not the same kind of team as what they were a couple of years ago, where they were consistently in the Champions League. And when Scott Parker was there, if everyone remembers, was it last season, and they had a little run. But they are more than capable of scoring a lot of goals. And the first leg, there was a lot of chances. Molde did steal it with the 92nd minute. But yeah, Bruges are a team at the moment that scoring a lot, but also conceding a lot. Look at the last 5. They've conceded to some really bad teams in Belgium. 3 to Kortrijk, 1 to Royal Union Saint-Gilloise, who are a decent team. We'll give them that much. Twice to Anderlecht.
We'll take your word for it.
Yeah. They are a decent team. They were in Liverpool's group.
Owned by Brighton.
Yeah, and they conceded to Leuven at the weekend. And Molde, I think the fact that they've had...
In the Leuven.
Yeah, Molde have had a full week to kind of get ready for this and press home their advantage. And Bruges are going to have to go for it. Game state plays into it. Molde can counter punch. I see this being a very entertaining game.
Nice one, Jake. It's going in. I mean, I gave the game away, didn't I?
You did a little bit, yeah.
But I mean, Scott Parker as Club Bruges manager, that was a time to be alive, wasn't it?
Oh, mental.
Jesus.
Yeah.
I was actually reading about Scott Parker yesterday and how he's just put his career in the bin with that rant after Bournemouth lost 9-0 at, was it 8-0 or 9-0? Liverpool.
Yeah, Liverpool.
And he basically condemned the entire squad for being shit and definitely getting relegated. And then Gary O'Neill, who'd never managed a game in his entire life, took over the next day and kept him up easy without signing any players. People are like, oh, Scott Parker. Like, he's obviously not particularly good.
He's a fraud. But you know what I can't believe about him? He's never managed Watford.
Yeah, well, that's not gonna happen for much longer, is it?
No, I saw it and I was like, what?
Oh, there's actually some breaking news, Jim. He's just been announced to the end of the
That's a
season.
good shout, actually.
He's such a Watford manager, isn't he?
They'll look at that and go, oh, he got Fulham promoted, he got Bournemouth promoted. He can get us promoted. Yeah, I like it.
Well, this is what we're full of. Hot takes, and a lot of them bad ones as well, going off topic. But we'll round you off, because we have built a 4-fold for Thursday's Europa League and Conference League games. And there is one game in League 2. Salford and Stockport, a derby, that one. So hopefully an entertaining game. But here is your 4-fold. So it's a both teams to score. Acca. It's Atalanta against Sporting, Liverpool against Sparta Prague, Brighton against Roma, and Club Bruges against Molde. And that's coming out at just a shade under 6.5 to 1. Thanks for watching and listening. Remember, please like and subscribe on YouTube and on your chosen podcast platform, and follow us on social media. It's Sporting Life Football on all social media channels. And we'll be back, remember, for Saturday's usual longer This Week's Acca podcast episode, where we'll build you something mainly from the EFL slate, but it's also a big jam-packed FA Cup weekend. This podcast and everything associated with it is for 18s and over. Please always remember to gamble responsibly. We'll see you again on Thursday.